Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video, West Ham Fan TV. My name's Nicky Hawkins, and this is the Transfer Daily. And some really big developments this morning. Callum Wilson will be staying. We'll be talking about that a little bit. Andy Irving has departed. He's gone to Sparta Prague. Good luck to him. And there is a winger interest. But let's get right into it. First of all, who enjoyed Saturday? I think we all did. Excellent performance. Excellent win, to be quite honest with you. It's a win much desperately needed. And the man of the moment, Callum Wilson, there is no better feeling than winning a game, especially against that lot, in the last minute, 92nd minute winner, held on. Listen, it was fantastic. It was fantastic to be there, and I'm sure it's fantastic to watch on the TV. But the man of the moment, Callum Wilson, and a couple of weeks ago, you will remember that I did a video, Callum Wilson. He was released the day of the Nottingham Forest game. It came out that we was cancelling his contract. He'd been pulled into an office. He'd been told from Nuno he didn't feature in his plans. We'd signed Tati and we'd signed Pablo, who I thought both were excellent on Saturday, by the way. Good afternoon, boys. Good afternoon, everyone. I thought both were excellent on Saturday, by the way. And it was over. He wasn't in the squad, and I remember going back there. If you go back to the videos there, and we was talking about it. Why would you release someone? Excuse me. Excuse me. Already signed four. Already scored 4 Premier League goals for free signing. I mean, in terms of returns, for a free signing to score 4 Premier League goals, it's better than anyone I remember in current day. Thank you very much. In current days. And he's a goal scorer, and he'd been living off scraps. We'd been playing poorly, and it was a crazy decision. We went on to lose a Nottingham Forest game, 7 points adrift. It wasn't it didn't look like we was going to get out of it. Didn't couldn't find out when our next win was coming, and we were saying at the time to release him, not in the squad in the Forest game. It was crazy. Now they must have sat down against him. They must have sat down with him over the last couple of weeks and sat down, because it looked like he was gone. As everything coming out of the club to me was he was gone. He was gone. The contract was getting cancelled. Now it seems like you see the interviews when he scored the winner on Saturday. It seems like Nuno was still willing to let him go. Right. But it seemed like Nuno was still letting him go. But the board have pulled rank here. Right. Now, whether this would have happened or not, if it hadn't put him up on in the 90th minute and he'd had 2 chances and won the game, I don't know. But the board have pulled rank here. Right. And they get a lot of criticism, the board. They get a lot of criticism. They get criticism saying, that I thought it was a money issue, but I think they've seen the worth of him. I think they've seen that he's worth quite a bit in a relegation battle. 5 goals. That's nothing to be sniffed at. 5 goals in a relegation sort of threatened season. And they see hope. There. So apparently Crystal Palace were ready to pounce. Now that is, there was rumours of him going to Celtic. He's sort of dismissed that. There would have been so many. There would have been so many clubs sort of sniffing around him. People like Leeds and Forest and all that. They would have loved Wilson. I was really worried about letting him go, but apparently it pulled rank. Someone said, "Does Sullivan get any credit for Wilson?" Yeah, but one swallow does not a summer make. He does pull one out the bag every now and then, David Sullivan, but he pulls another 10 that are shite. But yeah, it's pulled rank, to be quite honest with you. What does that do for Nuno? Is it going to upset him? Maybe it's going to upset him, because he obviously had different plans, but he still had the balls to play him, and it came off. Now I thought that would have. I'm starting to wonder whether or not it's a bold decision a Wilson decision or a board decision, whether he wanted to go or not. But I think the board might have sat down with him and turned around and said to him, "Look, you're in the plans. Like, we'll make him play you." And he came up trumps again. Look, another. So he wants 100 Premier League goals. Another 7 goals in 7 1-0 wins. Fucking 1-0 wins, yeah. And we stay up. Simple as that. But yeah, it's I think it's a great piece of news, and it's going to be like a new signing. What's that going to happen to James Ward-Prowse? They're not going to do the same for him, to be quite honest with you. So James Ward-Prowse, you've got to expect to go, but he's just sitting there doing nothing at the moment. But great news, Wilson staying, in my opinion, because we can't afford to let him go. And Palace are dropping like a stone. You don't want them signing someone like, Callum Wilson. On other news, Andy Irving, cult hero Andy Irving at West Ham. He has left. He's left and gone to Sparta Prague. Not really much to say about Andy, to be quite honest with you. And listen, I've never seen the hype with Andy. I think he's got brilliant technical ability, but he wasn't up to scratch with the. He wasn't up to scratch. Sorry, someone's coming in my gate. He wasn't up to scratch when it came to when it came to the. Who the fuck is that? I'm just trying to get in. He wasn't up to scratch when it came to the Premier League. Right, I'm going to have to cut this short. When it comes to the Premier League, because it just didn't have the legs, it didn't have the ability or anything like that. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to cut this short because there is someone trying to keep my gate, and I don't know who it is. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'll be back later with another video, and we will. They're really trying to get in, and we will talk about the rest of it. Thank you very much. One thing left to say: come on, you irons.